So in this video, we're going to talk about those two levels of involvement in basketball and where and how you should get them started down those paths. Now getting into how do you get them involved, as a casual player, as just sort of physical activity for them when they're young. It's important that when you're doing this, when you're trying to encourage them to play basketball, really it just comes down to having them exposed to as much basketball as possible. Now when it comes to kind of engineering your kids down a more serious basketball path where hopefully one day they're playing AAU or high school or earning a scholarship to college, you may be surprised to hear that the path, the beginning of this path where it starts is not where you may be expected to. And that is by me saying that with these kinds of kids, these kinds of players, this seriousness, this path that you want them to go down to, there should be no overt rush to this. I have a video about the number one thing, the very first thing I think any basketball player should do, a serious basketball player at least, and that is to learn how to love the game, make it enjoyable. Hopefully from that it turns into a passion that they will then pursue moving forward for the next few years at least. If you're not playing basketball for the right reasons, if you're not playing because you genuinely enjoy it, you're probably not going to sustain it because of all the time, because of all the hard work, because of all the wear and tear that it's going to take. Have their foundation be enjoying playing the game, enjoying being around the game, enjoying watching the game. The way you do that as someone who's trying to influence them in that direction is by associating as closely and often as possible that basketball equals good, positive feelings and emotions. As young and as often as possible, you want basketball to be associated in their minds, in their feelings, as something that provokes good, positive, fun emotion. But something you don't want to do is you don't want to start teaching them the game. You don't want to start teaching them the right way to do X, Y, and Z when they're doing whatever basketball activity they're doing. Right? You don't want to correct them. You don't want to say you're doing this wrong, because you're going to start, that could set the seed of like, oh, I did something wrong, I feel bad about it, right? You don't want any of that. You just want pure enjoyment for as long as possible. Now, of course, if they're trying to do something specific, some kind of specific skill, and they're not getting the hang of it and they're getting frustrated, now you can step in and show them, okay, this is how you do this, and this will help if you do it this way, and you stick with them until they get it right. And then when they do get it right, now it's time to praise them and give them as much adulation and make them feel good about themselves when they do something right. But for instance, if you see them doing something drastically wrong, right, like if they're shooting and their elbows are way out like this and they're like pushing the basketball towards the hoop instead of really shooting it, if you want to correct that and you want to help them to start doing that correctly, so that by doing it correctly they have more fun, what you could do, instead of saying you're doing it wrong, this is the way you should do it, come at it from the perspective of wonderment. The idea being, you want their improvement to, in their mind, be like they did it themselves. They thought of it themselves, they implemented it themselves. Because of that, they taught themselves how to get better at the game, thus giving themselves more fun and more enjoyment. That's when and how to get your kids started with basketball. Whether your kid's going to be a casual player or whether you're trying to have them be more of a serious player, trying to earn like a college scholarship one day, the foundation should be enjoyment for the game.